Hello guys, this is nothing else, this is another Cargouide video, and sorry for my voice sounding really bad. Really bad. I would say a swear word, but we're not like 8 seconds into the video, I think. Oh yeah, we are. So yeah, I'm recording this for the second time, because before it turned off, and I'm pretty sick. And not only not only my computer crashed, but also, I lost my headphones that I used separately. I broke, like my normal headphones broke. Also, just my microphone, when I recorded already like 4 videos, just my microphone just stopped working and I needed to fix it, so, I'm like, 2 hours behind in recording, so let's get into it. Oh yeah, also consider smashing that subscribe button. Okay, so first, Sorcerer is a spellcaster that takes its abilities from Charisma, because Charisma is your force of personality, and just like your inner strength, just your personality and stuff like this. So all of the stuff that is tied to your like lineage and stuff like this is Charisma. Now, also blessings. And your health is really low at 6 points plus your con modifier. As most spellcasters, you train in perception, fortitude, and reflex, and expert in the wheel. As some spellcasters, you start with just 2 skills plus your int, and also additional skills. So like most characters, like 4 skills or so. Now you start trained in simple weapons and attacks, and no armor at all. And also spells based on your bloodline, and your bloodline just switches up like your spell repertoire, aka your spell list. Now, of course, we have like blood spellcasting and stuff like this, aka you get a special effect, like you get a small buff, or you give enemy a debuff if you use your focus spells, and that's like your blood magic. And also, you get 1 extra spell slot per each level over all the other spellcasters. Now, of course, we have normal spell repertoire. With just like Bard, just spontaneous. Also, you get signature spells at level 3, which allows you to just upcast spells, which gives you way more possibilities. Now, ability boosts, well, you get them. I mean, but I'm not going to get into ability boosts and stuff like this, because this is stuff that all classes get. But at 5th level, except for them, you get magical fortitude, aka expert in fortitude saving throws. At level 7, you get expert spellcasters, aka expert at spells. At level 9, you get expert at reflex. Level 11, you get expert at perception, and also attacks with like your weapons and stuff like this. At level 13, you get expert at your armor defense, and also extra damage from weapons. Then at level 15, you get master at your spellcasting. Level 17, you get a master at will saves, and also you get a crit instead of a normal success on will saves. And then at level 19, you get a 10th level spell slot, and also legendary at like your spells. Well, bloodlines have a lot to cover. Aberrant is more of, it's a weird. It's probably like the worst of them, because you still get bonuses to will saves that you already have, and the will saves are pretty high as your blood magic effect, but also your bloodline spells are not really that good. And I don't really care about granted spells, because you will still get you'll still be able to pick those spells yourself unless you are weird blessed. And also we get Intimidation and Occultism, which doesn't really matter too much, because you could pick all these spells up and just Intimidation is nice though. Angelic, Diplomacy and Religion. Of course, you get stuff that is related to just flying and bonuses to healing, and also just to make sure that you realize that, this gives you bonuses to healing, so, you actually get the heal spell for free, and you should set it as your signature spell. So yeah, and Divine Spell is also you get bonuses to saving throws to you and one target. Demonic is like, the stereotypical is, the one that deals a lot of damage. And you get Fear Spell, which is nice because Fear Spell is, a spell that every spell tradition can use and is probably one of the most useful spells. Now also, the spells are pretty good. The spells are pretty good over here. And Blood Magic, you can give your enemy -1 to AC on, or just +1 bonus to Intimidation skill checks. And Diabolic Sorcerer is like, instead of a demon, is a devil. So still divine, but now you get Deception instead of Intimidation because you're more of a politician or a lawyer than a warrior. And I said lawyer, like, the guy that does law, not the one that lies, even though in many cases, especially in Better Call Saul, it's similar enough to call them one thing. So yeah, you get more of like, just more of like kind of support and less useful spells in terms of like just raw fighting power. But you can actually increase the damage that you do, or just give yourself a bonus to Deception. I recommend damage more. Now Draconic, which gives you +1 to AC as your bonus and gives you more of like, just some of the like typical spells that you would expect a wizard to get. And you can pick a dragon to change the damages. To change the damages of, of your Dragon Claws and Dragon Breath. And yeah, pretty much every single one except the Green Dragon makes the enemies roll reflex. Now Elemental, now you have Elemental later that just deals a lot of raw damage and it's a lot of fun. Just gives you a lot of really cool stuff. And and a very special thing is that you can pick one elemental type, aka water, earth, air, or fire, which water, earth, and air deal bludgeoning damage and fire deals fire damage. And you can see the like little, just like over here, this like little star. Yeah, it actually means that you can change the damage of the spell, because these mostly Elemental Blast and Elemental Toss deal bludgeoning damage normally. That if you have a fire elemental, you can change this to fire damage. And with Produce Flame, Burning Hands, and Fireball, you can actually change them to something like I don't know, like produce water, wet hands, and like water ball or something, like, or produce brine, wet hands, and like water ball, and over here like produce rock, hard hands, and like earth ball, or like change it to just like produce wind, hurricane hands, and just like airball. Just so yeah, you can essentially just like talk to the GM to just change them. But yeah, you can essentially change the damage of these spells. You can change the damage of fire spells into bludgeoning damage. And I think that your GM will allow you to do this with pretty much any spell that deals bludgeoning or like fire damage. Now, Blood Magic gives you bonus to intimidation checks or extra damage. And as I say, always just deal damage. Always just take damage. And with Fae, you're kind of like the demonic, which gives you most stuff that relies just like more of illusions and stuff like this. Of course, you get deception similarly. All of your stuff, for example, Fairy Dust just blinds the enemy, Fairy Disappearance makes you like invisible, and Fake Glamour, once again, just illusions. So it's all illusions, and you'll be able to be concealed, but you cannot hide from that concealment that you get from your Blood Magic. And Genie is just like Elemental, pretty much. Is similar to Elemental, but Arcane, for people that want this. But you get like Deception instead of Intimidation. So yeah, Elemental is just like Demonic, and Genie is just like Diabolic. And you can just, where most of this stuff is just like, you know, like your elementally magic, and you can have a lot of Genie thing, like Genie as well. That's kind of funny. And now, I can get bonus to Deception on, or give enemy -1 status penalty to Perception. And it doesn't say Perception checks. So it works also for Perception DC, so it essentially works just like +1 to Deception checks, but gives it to all your allies, so you know. Just keep that in mind. Also, Genie type, at level like 2, 5, and 8, it changes. It changes depending on your gene type. Genie, aka just like mix of all genies, they like the most basic genie, aka, you know, just the wish guy. Can create food, banish the enemy, or like you say like in the pattern, Genie is like the air guy, Afriti is the fire guy, Marit is the water guy, and the Shaitan is you know, like the earth guy. And yes, I pronounce it Shaitan. I know that it's probably like Shaitan, but I pronounce it Shaitan because it sounds cooler. And now for Hag you get, of course, like a lot of like mental things, you know. You can see over here pretty much every mental thing, and you know, just like your mind is pretty much only great spell that Hag has, and also uses occult spellcasting, deception, and occultism, of course. And you get 2 mental damage, which may seem cool, but it's with a basic will save. So the enemy can actually take either 0 damage from that on a critical success, on a failure takes 2 damage, on a success takes 1 damage, per spell level, of course, and on a critical success takes double, so 4 damage, of course, per spell level still. And Imperial, it's like, you know, Arcane, so you'll just like most basic Sorcerer, just like over here, as I said, like I said before, that dragon is like stuff that you would expect a wizard to have. Imperial has the most basic wizard spells, pretty much. Like I pretty much whenever I see as a wizard, then I'm 90% sure that the wizard will have like will have at least 6 of these spells in its spellbook at the end of the game at like level 20. There's like 90% chance that your wizard will have at least 6 of these spells in their spellbook. Well, over there you had like just more normal stuff. over here I'm pretty sure that your wizard will have a shield. Or your wizard is like insane and doesn't take a shield. But yeah, you actually get... Actually, all of the stuff is more wizardy this time, so yeah. It's essentially... Imperial is essentially just like wizard for noobs. If you want to play a wizard without putting any of the... without like putting any effort to like strategy and stuff like this, just play an Imperial Sorcerer. That's how we do it. So yeah, just one of your assets. So yeah, one of your sensors just like mastered magic. So essentially, yeah, you come from a wizard. Just to become a wizard, that takes less effort to use. No, primal spell is Nymph is a primal spell is diplomacy and nature. Essentially, this was a pretty forest lady. Pretty forest lady. That's pretty much it. Like you get a lot of the like just like things that would do with a forest or something like this. You could expect this to appear like in a fairy tale or something. Same like with the hag. That over here you get primal, and you get bonus to diplomacy or -1 penalty to target's will saves for 1 round. So yeah, will saves. It's not like we. So I don't know if it's just like saving throw or is it like will DC. Also, so just keep that in mind. That your GM might rule differently and just ask your GM about this before, ahead of time. You know, detect magic, and over here with Phoenix you have a lot of fire stuff and also like stuff that would be considered with healing and stuff like this. That's because mostly you get like stuff like cleansing flames and rejuvenating flames, and rejuvenating flames is essentially works just like a cantrip, like your average cantrip, but in an area. And also, like, works just like Firebolt, but in an area it actually heals allies, but it deals just a bit less average damage. And that's how it works. Also, Psychopomps. Yeah. Imagine if ghosts were exorcists. Yeah, that happened in one Scooby-Doo movie. But it also happened in Pathfinder lore. We have Psychopomps that are essentially ghosts that are also exorcists. So, yeah. For good or ill, your ancestors' deeds drew attention of Psychopomps. You may somehow count to 1 in your family tree. I just love this how they say like, hey, you know, like it's mostly just like normal stuff, but also sex. Yes, just I love this. And the Border of Life Blaritude, so you gain +2 to saving throws for Fortitude, which is logical because, you know, just Psychopomps fight undead mostly, or just positive or negative damage to an enemy per spell level, which is pretty good also, pretty versatile. That's good game design. Take notes, Wizards of the Coast. Now, Shadow, okay, you know, just Shadow, you get a lot of like sneaky stealthy stuff, and you can either give yourself +1 bonus to stealth or enemy -1 to perception, so also perception DC for 1 round. So I would recommend actually give my enemy -1 to perception. Unless the enemy already has a perception debuff, then you can give yourself the status bonus to stealth. Then it's better. Now undead, you know, just death. So yeah, that just sounds weird. Touch on undead runs through your blood. Like, I'm going to tell you, I have like one friend that likes necromancy a bit, and I was concerned that what he may like think of this. But also I read that it's a vampire, so yeah, my worries were confirmed, you know. Yeah, like he likes vampires a lot. So yeah, just like too much, you know. And you know, divine, of course, divine spellcasting, because all of that's dead except phantoms. Pretty much everything that is dead except phantoms is divine. And you also get like you're just normal, just death things, and also cloud kill, that is essentially just like, you know, just it's essentially like 1800 Germany stuff, and you know, just you get a lot of like dead spells, and you can get bonus hit points or also deal negative damage to the enemy. Yeah, and when blessed, it's essentially just like Dragon Sorcerer, but you get a bit different. You get a bit different generic spells that you get, but yeah, just you get Mask of Terror, my beloved. Yeah, I prefer Fear spell personally. It's lower level, so you can use it more, but also I like Mask of Terror. Like pretty much any spell that gives enemy fear effect is pretty good, because it essentially makes enemy just like one level weaker. Except the enemy still regains hit points for that. So, but it also may make the enemy a few levels weaker, but it still regains hit points. So yeah, you can just like turn a boss into like just a mundane enemy, or like a minion that doesn't even want to fight you, just like one spell. That's pretty good. And also the same, you can just... But Wyrmbless actually gives you technically just like more spells. And the spells that you have is Mage Armor. Mage Armor that is not normally accessible to Divine Spellcasters, which is pretty cool. And Haste also, that is not normally given to Divine Spellcasters. So yeah, that's still just generic wizard stuff, but on like normal cleric spell list. So that's what I think, that Wyrmblessed is pretty cool actually. Except for the fact that Wyrmblessed doesn't have like Fireball or Cone of Cold. But you know, still you can get Mage Armor for like a lot of the ideas. But normally it works only on Cleric. So yeah. That's pretty much all that you need to know about the Bloodlines, and it took us a bit, but that's because Sorcerer is kind of like long. You have a lot of choices, okay? It's simple, but you have a lot of choices. And while Wizard will be easier to explain in a short amount of time, but it will be harder to actually play. So for feats that Sorcerer gets, of course at level 12 Bloodline Focus and Bloodline Wellspring, and at level 20 probably just like pick whatever you want, whatever you feel like is best. And also just pick any one that just has Bloodline in it, like if it has like Bloodline in the name, yeah, actually, like one thing. So basically, you know, my OBS crashed when I was making this video, and you know, I just wanted to say, if the feat that you have has Bloodline in it, in the name of the feat, if there's Bloodline in the name of the feat, like Bloodline Focus, Bloodline Wellspring, Advanced Bloodline and stuff like this, you know, then the feat is good, you know, then you should try to take this feat. Except like level 20 feats. Then you can take any feat, because every feat of level 20 for Sorcerer is really good. So yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to say, but yeah, for my, like, I'm not even gonna recommend spells because, like, Fear spell is the only universal spell I can recommend, and probably Mask of Terror, but it doesn't work on Divine. So, just remember, guys, try to walk your own path, your fix of nature.